Means that they're on a bit of a roll, and that the crowd's there, but nice and lively. This should be a fantastic game.
Millwall have been brilliant on the road since the Championship was introduced. They're enjoying their best away start to a campaign, but at home is where they need to start collecting points. If Alex Neil can marry the two up, then who knows what could happen come the end of the campaign. But they are a team who are usually there or thereabouts, but usually fall just short, as last season proved, missing out by just 2 points. Ian, what do you think will be the keys to victory for these two teams tonight?
Well, certainly they need to get the talented attacking lines. I mean, both have got really, you know, you look at the Championship now, they've got top draw players playing in front lines, and, you know, Aziz is a real handful, you know, Ivanovic is, Ballows, I think, certainly looks very impressive. And on the other side, Cisse and Bozanic and then Sorba Thomas is quite threatening. Add to that Thomas Rigo maybe joining in. We'll have to see who does play in the 10, but it's going to be fascinating to get that ball, I think, as early to them forward players as possible.
Well, as I mentioned, Millwall usually there or thereabouts. They haven't finished higher than 8th since returning to the second tier, but Mark Robins deserves enormous credit for what he's doing at Stoke, having clung on and stayed up on the final day of last season. Could he be the manager to finally break what, let's be honest, has seemed to have been a bit of a curse for managers who went before him, Ian?
Well, I mean, if anyone can, Mark Robins can. Listen, I've got to say, I was lucky enough to manage Coventry. The job he did with Coventry was just simply beyond belief good. So, you know, he absolutely knows the way around this division really well. And I actually think Stoke might be a real threat this year.
And this division looks wide open this year. It's not like last season with a Leeds or a Burnley who both got 100 points. It's really there, it's up for grabs. If he can stay the course and he can keep that consistency, who knows what could happen. But here they come. The Den rises to greet its own. Millwall chasing a 3rd straight win, driven by unfinished business perhaps. Stoke City transformed, carrying the confidence of their climb. It is 6th against 3rd with just a single point between them. But it is anyone's division, isn't it, this year?
Yeah, very much so. And you even see, you know, there's no run away with it. Coventry are certainly going on a goal-scoring spree. I mean, they have some amazing results. So it's going to be fascinating to see when that sort of top 6. I don't think it'll separate. I think it's more like going to be a top 12, and I think there's that many good teams.
Well, let's take a look at the team, starting with Millwall. 2 changes, both in midfield. Massimo Luongo was stretchered off early in the first half at QPR. Casper Denore replaced him and continues tonight. Alongside him, Derek Mazu-Sacco, who starts in place of Billy Mitchell, who's ill. Max Crocombe makes his home league debut in goal, with Stephen Bender still injured. Femi Aziz is at the peak of his powers just now. He's scored in each of his last 2 appearances, whilst Mihailo Ivanovic got the winner in this fixture last season and finally opened his account for this term at the weekend. Mark Robins makes 4 changes from the Wrexham win. Eric Bokar is in for Aaron Creswell at left-back. Stephen Nzonzi makes his first start since returning in the summer after a decade away. Lamine Cisse also comes in, and Robert Bozanic is preferred to Divine Mabama up front. Ash Phillips and Ben Wilmot have been rock solid at the back, and they have arguably the best goalkeeper, Victor Johansson, behind them. Sorba Thomas grabbed a fortuitous winner against Wrexham at the weekend. He, though, is a player reborn this season with 8 goal involvements in 10 games. So the stage is set, and you picked out a couple of players who could make all the difference tonight, Ian.
Yeah, I've got a real feeling for Femi. Very clever, playing on the right, a little bit different now, drifting inside onto his left side, and a real handful. Sort of looks like he's refound himself, and he seems to be, like, the dedication seems to be absolutely back where it was in their peak seasons he had, looking like a real find. And then you're looking at Sorba Thomas, who I think what Craig Bellamy's used him in Wales brilliantly, and he's very much a focal part of that, and that's a really good squad. He's coming here and he's at the peak of his powers. Get the ball to him, he makes things happen.
Well, Stoke's record at the Den is not great. They haven't won here since 2005. Their record in London in general doesn't make for particularly great reading, but records are there to be broken and all of that. And they come here in good shape. James Linnington is our match referee on this Tuesday night in the Championship in South East London. Millwall with just one defeat in their last 6 outings. It was a hefty one though against Coventry when they were beaten by 4-0. Stoke City with 2 wins on their travels this term, and they are backed by around 1,000 Stokies who've made the journey to the capital for this one, and there they are. And it is a big week of travel for Stoke as well. They go to Portsmouth at the weekend for an early kick-off. But their focus tonight is here at the Den, and Millwall get us underway in the blue, kicking from right to left in this opening half. And of course, a reunion for Alex Neil against his former club. As Eric Bokar, one of 4 changes made by Mark Robins, who is dismissing any talk of a potential promotion push this season. He's never one to get carried away. I spoke to him yesterday, he said, look, there are 36 games left, aren't there? Still plenty left to play for in this campaign, but Alex Neil, who's been around the block himself, a very solid appointment, it looks like, for Millwall. And he feels that there's still plenty more to come from his Millwall side. They weren't good at all, really, at QPR at the weekend. The manager himself admitted that. But what they have been is ruthless in front of goal in the last couple of games. But here comes Stoke looking to ask questions of their own. Cisse overlapping is Chamadou. Good ball in, and Rigo fires wide. But an early sighter for Stoke City.
Yeah, we're talking about who's going to play in the 10. It certainly looks like Rigo arriving late in the box. Got to say, it's a really good movement from Rigo. Look at him. I mean, the overlap's really powerful. Lovely ball into the box, and he gets in front. It's almost too good a contact. Wants more of a glancing contact. Bombing past him. Great ball in. And, oh, what a chance that was.
Well, he made himself a real hero recently for Slovakia. He scored the winner away to Luxembourg to maintain their perfect World Cup qualifying record. But certainly an encouraging early sign for those in red and white here. But Millwall look to go on the surge, but it is brought back, a foul by Cisse.
Looks quite a threatening partnership, that Cisse Chamadou down that right-hand side. Real pace, lovely ball in, picked him out. Lovely weight of pass from Cisse.
Zach Sturge is showing interest in this, and he will be the one to take it. Made his move from Chelsea permanent in the summer, having been on loan here last season. Only made a handful of appearances, though, due to the form of Joe Bryan. If it's tossed in there, Johansson will come and claim it. And it's a quick release as well, and Thomas is on his way.
Yeah, good recovery from Mazusako.
Thomas, good ball inside and a good crack, but it's some way off in the end. Firmly struck by Bocianic.
Yes, it's a nice little pass. Sits up light nicely for him. Just not quite balanced, isn't quite right. Like it sits lovely for him. Just cuts across it badly. Certainly an entertaining start to the game.
Another Slovakia international in the Stoke City starting lineup, Robert Bocianic, who joined this season from Portuguese side Boa Vista, and he is preferred to the young Manchester City loanee Divine Mbama, who you've seen a fair amount of in the past.
I have, yeah. So I ended up doing a little bit of scouting for Palace, and I've seen a lot of Divine Mbama, lots about him. I've got to say, under 21s is a different game.
Certainly is, although he has been impressing at under 21 level for his country, Mbama. This is Ryan Leonard, though, on the launch pad for the Lions as it's speared in there. Cooper is an obvious target. Denore scuffing it, spilled by Johansson. And he comes up with the goods to deny Ballo, and that is why he is regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the division.
I think it's Nzonzi gets the header away. He gets up well, he heads it, but it's a really good hit. And I've got to say, they're two brilliant saves. The first one's more reaction. It is Nzonzi with it. Hits, so it's a bit, that's a little flick there. He does well, and then brilliant spread into the body. You talked about being the best in the league. I think there's not many better than him for sure. He's outstanding.
Well, he's got the highest save percentage in the Championship, Victor Johansson. 14 clean sheets last season, 4 from 10 games before tonight. Corner driven in. And there's the shot again, and Johansson gets down low to deny Ballo once more.
Yeah, nice hit from Ballo. Awkward one, coming through bodies. Looks like he was going to spill it, but didn't quite. Tried to do a bit of blocking off at the back, but it's well defended initially. It's a nice, decent strike.
Well, he's been impressing. Tiono Ballo out on the wing for the Lions. He's on loan from Wolfsberger, and they do have an option to buy him. Bokar looking to clear it down the line. The ball had gone out of play. It will be a Millwall throw. 2 wins, 3 defeats here for the Lions this season. They've beaten Watford and West Brom. That West Brom victory, by the way, was particularly impressive. West Brom were the best travellers in the league at that point, and Millwall easily dispatched them by 3-0. And of course, Queen's Park Rangers were in fabulous form at the weekend, and they ended their run as well.
Yeah. Some sort of, you know, make you have a glance at some of the scores they come up with. You know, and coming here has always been really notoriously difficult. It's not been that way this year, but their away form is absolutely ridiculously good.
And if they score first, they win. That's essentially it for Millwall this season. They've won all 5 games in which they've scored first.
Well, Kramer's been a bit of a star, and he fits in alongside Jake Cooper. Yeah, they've been like a bed. It's rock, so good defensively, and real threats at the other end.
Here's Sturge. Cooper.
It's definitely Thomas Rigo playing that more advanced role that, you know, as we've seen getting in the box there. So it's Seko and Nzonzi alongside each other.
All driven wide for Sturge, who does like to get forward as often as possible. Chamadou closing down the space. Denore, who arguably is Millwall's best midfield player. That being said, the absence of Luongo is a big miss, and we expect to find out the extent of his injury after the game tonight, but it did not look good at the weekend. But Luongo has brought so much to the table, picked up on a free in the summer. It's cut out though, and the opportunity for Stoke to bring it forward with Cisse.
Yeah, sloppy pass from Cooper. Doesn't often do that. Very reliable. Nice on the ball as well. Gives it away there, but in the end to get good bodies back.
And Nzonzi back at Stoke after a decade away, and obviously enjoyed brilliant times in his first spell. As Thomas gallops to the line here, and Kramer had to come across to shut him down.
Yeah, lovely ball from Eric Bokar, just drifted it over the back. Good movement from Silver Thomas. Something he's really good at, coming short and a little spinning behind.
And a chance here for the Potters to ask a question.
As I say, you'd think one of the best aspects of having the likes of the Kramer and Cooper is their physical presence in the box.
At the height of Nzonzi in there, Stoke. Real towering figure as it's whipped far post, and Crocombe, I think, got knuckles on that just. Cisse. And he puts Denore on his backside. Not the best of deliveries, but it certainly tests the goalkeeper. He looked really flat, the trajectory, but Stoke still managing to make something of it, and Crocombe pressed into service.
Yeah, like a double deflection. Looked like it was just a nick of the header, and then a little flick. Very, very good reaction, Shay, from Crocombe.
He didn't have lots to do at the weekend, Max Crocombe. But he's had quite the ascent through the divisions. When you bear in mind 4 years ago he was playing in the National League with Grimsby Town. As Ballo looks for options in the middle and finds one, and there's the goal. And guess who?
That man.
He cannot stop. He will not stop. 3 games, 3 goals. Femi is flying. Aziz with a breakthrough.
Also, I think it's a little bit. I don't think there was much contact. Referees, I think, is right with his decision. I don't think there is any contact with the high foot, but they break down the left-hand side. I've got to say, this bit here, no, it's not. There's not. I don't think there's any contact there. But what a ball he puts in! It's absolutely magnificent, and he attacks it. Aziz, brilliant. He's got to do better. The defender, it's no good doing that. Ballo puts. What a peach of a ball in, but the way Aziz attacks, it's magnificent. He's up early, gets above the defender, powers it in.
From one winger to the other, but Femi Aziz has got the golden touch just now.
Well, you did say when they score they win.
Yeah, and that could be oh so crucial for Millwall, the first goal in this game. Femi Aziz in fabulous form just now. Really feel for him actually, because he put in a peach of a cross for Ivanovic at the weekend. It took a little nick off a QPR defender, and as a consequence the assist was taken off him, which I think is incredibly harsh. But he'll not mind about that. As long as he's finding the back of the net with regularity, he'll be happy, and he's certainly excelling in that department just now. Here's Thomas. Misplaced, and those in red and white have to show a bit of character now.
I've got no idea why he went to ground if there was no contact, which I don't think there was. It's really poor defending. There's no contact, nowhere near his head, and then Ballo does the makes of it. Lovely little ball in. Beautiful with his left foot. Look at the attacking. Brilliant from Aziz. Gets up extra early, rides his back, powers him in the net.
Well, they've moved him from the left over to the right, and it's paying dividends. Femi Aziz would tell you he'd rather be on the right than the left, and he is playing with a smile on his face now. Really has stepped things up since coming back into the team, and they are having to spread the goals around. They don't have an out-and-out goal scorer this season, and by that I mean a number 9 who's finding the net frequently.
Yeah.
Ivanovic, you know, broke his duck for the season at the weekend. They'll be hoping that's the first of many, but it has been a team effort, the goals that they've got. Chamadou for Nzonzi. Made his 500th career appearance at the weekend, and Nzonzi when he came on from the bench. Seiko, there's some space to run into. Sturge on the retreat. It's not a good pass though, too straight. Needed more angle on that to bring Cisse into play. Made it easy for Sturge.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of joy for Stoke down this right-hand side. Chamadou getting overlapping there.
Chamadou winding up the long throw by the looks of it here. Held in towards Phillips, who was up there, but it's powered away by the giant figure of Cooper. Back in from Chamadou, great ball. He could have done no more with that, and he shrugs his shoulders as if to say, why didn't anyone gamble? Back in from Thomas, who overcooks his cross, and away it goes for the goal kick.
a simply sensational ball in from Chamadou. I mean, that man there is just, well, just before the goal, come up with something absolutely crucial. Lovely little puts on his backside, sets it back, whips it in. I think it flicks off Rigo. Oh, and it's just it's a brilliant save. Reflex is there's the contact. Really good reflex save from Crocombe.
Kramer asking Ivanovic to chase it down. Wilmot will feel the breath of him on his neck now. But Wilmot does well to tidy that one up.
I think the actual saves from Bozanic. I think Bozanic gets contact on it.
Ballo dragging back Chamadou. And he's got carded for it too.
Well, he's a threat. Chamadou really is. And you add Lamine Cisse to that. There should be a lot of joy this left-hand side, and I don't think that will go unnoticed by Mark Robins.
Yeah, it'd be a good battle down this side, actually, between the 4 players involved. You've got Sturge, the left-back, Ballo in front of him, Chamadou and Cisse flying down the right. But Sturge will have to tread carefully now. And Sorba Thomas lining up this free kick for Mark Robins' team. And Zonzi the target. Leonard got something on it for Millwall. Here's the goal scorer, Aziz. And Leonard completes the job. Seiko. Off goes Cisse. Chamadou. And not the finest ball in you'll ever see.
No, but it's definitely an area where, you know, Ballo, Chamadou's bombing forward every opportunity, and Cisse allows Cisse then to go inside the odd time, and that's something that Ballo won't want to do time and time again.
Well, Stoke, without winning their last 3 away from home, beaten 1-0 at Queen's Park Rangers, and then a couple of draws, albeit a good one at Middlesbrough, and a 1-1 draw at Blackburn. They've enjoyed wins at Sheffield Wednesday and Southampton. Both of those were in the opening month, but
well, I'm sure Mark Robins will be thinking, if he looks at the stats, it doesn't make pleasant. You know, I think 6 out of the last 7 games they've failed to score a goal at Millwall. So it's a place that they don't look like they've come. But having said that, it's been a decent response. They're certainly a little bit more open than I thought it'd be.
Here's Wilmot for Bokar. There's Phillips on a second successive loan spell from Spurs. Gathered here by Cisse. And Zonzi sweeping it into Rigo. Rigo again looking to get Thomas away. Leonard matching him stride for stride, and he might have had his heels clipped. That's certainly the referee's view.
Says he didn't touch him. Let's have a look. I don't think there's much in that, by the way. Got to say, goes down very easily.
Oh, he's been brilliant this season, Sorba Thomas. He was superb a few years ago, obviously with Huddersfield, then seemed to just disappear, and suddenly he's back in the international fold and thriving now under Mark Robins. I mean, 8 goal involvements in 10 games is some going. 4 goals, 4 assists.
Yeah, very impressive. And also replicating that form for Wales as well.
Sure.
You know what the trouble is, and you'll hear managers talk about it, that first goal is so important. One, it allows you to sort of let them come at you, and you know, and certainly with the players Millwall have up front, you know, it allows that counter-attacking. You know, it really does play into Alex Neil's hands, because they've got to come and be open and expansive now, and it changes Mark Robins' game plan. And that first goal's oh so critical.
Bokar. It looked like a nudge, didn't it, from Rigo, the referee, well placed to spot that. And Derek Mazu-Sakho is the one bundled over. It's an interesting call. A bit of debate before the game as to who would go into that defensive midfield role. I think it was always expected that Denore would be one of them, but I think the Millwall fans will be very happy to see Derek Mazu-Sakho playing in that role, and also thrilled to see Race Bangura Williams in the matchday squad as well, a player they're very excited about. He may figure later. And Zonzi. Little drop of the shoulder from Thomas. Hunted down by Leonard. He's tracking back Thomas into Bojanic. Tatsuki Seiko for Stephen Nzonzi.
In good shape though for Millwall. There's that man again. Started the game really well, and he's more of the six. You know, everyone needs one, a good six, and they make the game look easy because defensively he's just shielding. Here he just jumps out. Really good tackle and a foul.
He was playing in the French second tier last season. Derek Mazu-Sakho making his fourth league start for the Lions this evening. And he'll be coached through this to a large degree by Denore, who is very much a calming influence in that midfield, but that's not to say he's any less physical. He is a player that likes to get stuck in and break things up. So it's tossed high towards Kramer, who got something on it. Ballo round the back and pulling it back on a goal. And it's a first for Tristan Kramer. You would not necessarily have had that on your bingo card tonight. Tristan Kramer scoring for Millwall, but he has, and the Lions tighten their grip.
Yeah, really lovely finish. Got to say, very, very impressed with Ballo. I mean, the cutback's fantastic, and look, the size, struggling to cope. It's Kramer who wins the initial flick. Look at him, Ballo's onto him. It looks so clever. What a cutback, and I've got to say, it's an outstanding left foot finish. Right above the keeper, not a chance for the keeper, Johansson. Right into the roof of the net. Look at this, brilliant.
Some finish that, isn't it? Some way to open your account.
Well, what a start to this game for Alex Neil and his Millwall team. Putting Stoke to the sword, and Ballo right at the heart of it.
Stoke silenced as South East London sings. Terrific start to the game for Alex Neil's side. And now really beginning to motor through the gears. Ballo has had a terrific start to the match. Passed inside, another great ball. Stoke living dangerously, and that one is only just wide as well from Ivanovic. And if Stoke aren't careful, they could really go under here.
No, what's happening down this right-hand side is actually Chamadou's bombing forward all the time, but he's also that leaves, he's hardly just about getting back now. That's leaving Seiko to try and do some recovery, and that's another great pick out. He just doesn't get enough on it, small bone. And this, I just thought they might sneak in the corner. It's not the worst hit, just doesn't quite get enough curl on it, Ivanovic. They're rampant at the moment.
Well, we know about his reputation, Alex Neil. We know how good a manager he is. He did lose his job at Stoke a couple of years ago. He was there for 16 months, one of several managers who tried to turn this big ship of Stoke around, but failed to do it. But it's looking like a really good appointment. 20 wins from his previous 39 games before tonight, a 51% win ratio.
Very impressive, particularly in this. It's a brutal league, it really is. It's just tests you, them 3-game weeks.
Mark Robbins was asked about that this week, actually, about the challenges of a 3-game week. He said, well, you've got to look at it as an opportunity. And of course he's right. You can get a lot of points on the board very quickly, but they're in big trouble here. Oh, and so is Smallbone, who looks to have pulled his hamstring. And that's the last thing that Alex Neil really needs at this juncture. He's certainly had his fill of injuries this season, and it looks as though he's got another one. And I don't think Smallbone will be able to carry on here. He knew straight away. Hamstring popped, and I'm no expert, but I would suggest his night is done.
Yeah, I think Ryan Leonard might have left a bit on the winger after this when the ball comes to him, because they expected, I think, to kick it out, and they didn't, which really they should have done when it's as serious as that. You know, what does it mean? It's a little bit of a game, and he's pulled his hamstring, knock it out and let it be seen to. They don't, they play on. But as just before the throw-in, it was into Rigo. I think he leaves a lot on him. I don't know whether the referee's seen it.
Well, we'll find out soon enough.
There you go, watch. Yeah, a little elbow in there. Couldn't really see, but he's obviously giving him a little dig on the way.
Well, Rigo is the one who's had the wind taken out of his sails, but big concern here for Will Smallbone, and I'm pretty sure the message that will be relayed back to the bench is that he cannot continue.
Not helpful when you got Longo at the weekend.
Yeah.
You got Smallbone now. I mean, this is part, and this is the downside of a 3-game week. You know, recovery time very limited.
Well, we'll see who he'll bring on. He could bring on Luke Cundle, of course. I'm sure the fans would love to see Bangura Williams introduced. He does have options here, but here comes the change. And it's going to be Luke Cundle. Well, having lost Massimo Luongo at the weekend, they've now lost Will Smallbone. No Billy Mitchell tonight, if you're just joining us, he's out ill. But Luke Cundle, who did have a loan spell at Stoke a couple of seasons back under Stephen Schumacher, is now with us. Got a memorable winning goal earlier this season at Sheffield United. Luke Cundle.
Was that in the 3-2, was it?
1-0 it was.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. And Zonzi snapping into the challenge.
Good hunger about the way they go about it. Ipswich, the press in good shape, very aggressive on the press when they have it.
Well, they're obviously looking for the next goal, which you would think would be the killer one, really. I mean, 2-0 is long enough way back for Stoke, but if it goes to 3, and it looks highly unlikely. And Millwall, at the moment, can smell blood.
Well, there's no doubt Gino Ballo's absolutely lit this stadium up. Brilliant finish from Aziz. Bokar's got to do better for me. He's got to get up earlier. He doesn't. He gets, and so he rides on his back and smashes the header into the roof of the net. And then very calm finish from Kramer. But wonderful pick out from Ballo.
I mentioned at the start about their ruthlessness in front of goal, especially in the last couple of games. 9 shots on target, 5 have gone in. That's before tonight. And 2 big chances that have come here tonight as well. They've had finishes at the end of them. 2 really well taken goals.
Don't forget, the keeper's also made a couple of good saves, didn't he?
Yeah. Good header one there by Sturge. Little flick inside there from Ivanovic. Cundle. And Ballo is on the move if he wants to use him. Condell instead, lovely ball inside, and it's right across the face of goal from Aziz.
He's on his favoured left foot. Just didn't get the contact. Lovely way to pass. Really good move again. Condell's a handful. Lovely way to pass. Oh, you'd expect Aziz to make the keeper make a save.
How does Stoke get a foothold in this game now, Ian?
What I do think is, I think they need to be. What they're finding difficult is getting a platform, and that you know certainly need, for me, you know, Seko and Nzonzi need to put a bit more influence on the game, but also Bosniak needs to hold up a bit better. You know, what's gone up, you know, he's been bullied by the two centre halves, and you know they're big, powerful people. So I'm not saying it's easy, but.
Seko. And Nzonzi, who is a World Cup winner, remember, and a Europa League winner. And he's got to try and play his part and dig Stoke out of a hole. Chamadou. Rigo. Poor touch.
Yeah. Good pressure. I think it's that man again, Mazu Sakho. He's been brilliant too. Do like Sturge, you know, size, physicality, got good pace, good in the air. The level of players in the Championship is very high these days.
Well, I mentioned earlier about Stoke's poor record against Millwall here, but overall it's not great either, is it, when you look at that statistic there? Only one defeat in the previous 13 league meetings. Sometimes teams just seem to have your number, and it would appear that Millwall have Stoke's. Push from Nzonzi by Condell on Nzonzi, I should say. On by Seko, getting it back from Nzonzi. Chamadou just had to halt his run. Not a lot of pace on that pass from Seko. Rather caught Chamadou on his heels. And a foul there by Mazu Sakho on Seko.
It's interesting. I mean, I think the other thing that Millwall do very well is foul. They're the most 145 fouls they've committed. So. You know what I'm saying is, fouls like that, you get away with 2 or 3 of these, and that, you know, that breaks up play. So I talked about how aggressive they have when the ball's sort of entered into their own half. They've sort of stepped up the intensity and been really aggressive in the press.
Sorba Thomas on set-piece duty, really fizzing that one round the back, and now the counter could be on. Ballo. Condell. We're surrounded by red and white, and it is a Stoke City throw. Guy who arrived in January from Wolves, Luke Condell. And that is deemed as a foul on Cisse.
They don't let you down on the fouls. They don't let you down. There's plenty of them.
Keeping a running tally.
Yeah. But you know what Alex Neil would actually delight is this. You know, as soon they're not having any joy really. There was 1 or 2 moments early on. For the most part, their shape's good. They've defended really well, been rock solid, and they've really defended their own half brilliantly, which you need to do.
Seko. He's got clear of Denore, took it himself, went for glory, but pulls it wide. Half a chance.
Yeah, I thought there half a chance he might go down, because Denore looked like he had a hold of him. That's Ballo not being. It's a poor cross.
Well, he said there was more to come, but I couldn't have wished for a better half of football than this so far. Alex Neil, who replaced Neil Harris. He was given a new deal at the end of last season, having got Millwall to the very fringes of the playoff positions. And he's got a good record against Stoke as well. He'd won 5 of his previous 6 league games against them. The only defeat was when he was in charge of Preston 5 years ago. Rigo. Cisse showing interest, but Sturge is attempting to fend him off. A bit of a swing and a miss, that.
Yeah.
From a Colchester player, Junior Chamadou, with ball in hand. And Zonzi in the picture.
Yeah, but they've got big units in there to deal with this.
On by Phillips. And the whistle has gone.
Yeah. Got an initial contact, which was good, but I think he's just offside position. Crocombe, no real rush. Take their time and get to half-time with a very pleasing scoreline.
Max Crocombe, 32 now, a New Zealand international. He was actually Millwall's first signing of the summer from Burton Albion. And looks as though he's going to get an extended run in the side with Stephen Bender out injured. We don't know the full extent of his injury either. I'm sure more will be revealed after this game tonight. Denore. Ballo for Mazu Sakho. Denore, so comfortable on the ball. He's one of those midfield players that is constantly scanning the pitch. You'll see him if you keep your eye, look, always looking left and right. He's always aware of where everyone is. Real intelligence from the midfield player. Chamadou snapping into the challenge on Sturge, and it puts Stoke in a real position of promise, and the referee will bring it back, much to Stoke's annoyance.
I've got to say, I think that's a bad decision. That's a really bad decision. I mean, I don't think it is. I'd like to see this again. Don't think there's any wrong with the tackle. And that's showing by Denore getting up. He wins this ball here strongly, and then he wins again. That's a perfectly good tackle. That's not. It's not. He's late. Look, on Chamadou. Watch, plays the ball there. It's Norrie's fault, if anything. He should be getting the booking. It's an outrageous decision.
Junior Chamadou has had his name taken down, and that, from a Stoke point of view, is really disappointing because they were building up ahead of steam there.
And also, he's got Ballo running in the second half.
Yeah. Oh, Cisse trying to play the ball across his own box. Not sure that was the wisest thing to do, but they've got away with it. This is Bokar. That's Millwall, very aggressive in the press, and they are known for their pressing qualities in the Championship. They just seem to have a really good balance to their team, don't they?
You know, he's done. You talked about him actually in the build-up, but Mazu Sakho's done a really good job. Shielded really well. You've hardly even seen, you know, Bozanic in the game.
Yeah.
Shielded that front man very well.
Chamadou slipping it down the line. Well defended by Cooper. And they've got 2 defenders who literally love to defend, in Kramer and Cooper.
Yeah.
You've got the pace out wide, and if they can just get Ivanovic firing on a regular basis, and they're going to be a real force to be reckoned with this season, Millwall, that's for sure.
Yeah, and certainly Ivanovic has Work rate's been very good today. I mean, what he has done is, put a shift in. Sometimes you just got to keep digging in there, and getting that goal will be brilliant for him.
Cisse. Stoke looking for a route back in. Sturge having none of it. Well, at the moment, you'd have to say that a set play might be Stoke's best hope of getting back into this, and of course throw-ins these days are becoming more and more important.
They are, but you see, what I think is that the short throw opens up the box a bit, doesn't it? Because people have to come out and defend.
It's Phillips. You have to stretch to try and win that. Sako getting a boot on it, flicked away by Denore. Wilmot. Sorba Thomas. A bit of a slip, but Nzonzi was there to recover it for Stoke City, but then it's turned over. And hefty touch from Aziz, rather let Stoke off the hook there.
Yeah, it's a poor ball from Wilmot, to be fair. Sloppy giveaway from the captain.
Sako, look, he's absolutely surrounded with nowhere to go. And it does seem like Millwall are setting traps for Stoke, and they're falling into them all the time. Leonard. Kramer. And he was tugged at, and it is indeed a Millwall free kick. Just a bit of a lazy challenge from Bojanic.
I think offensively he'd be very, very happy, and that clean sheet will also please him.
Well, he has tasted promotion from this division in the past, Alex Neil. He got Norwich promoted, albeit a decade ago now, through the playoffs. So he's got pedigree. Obviously got a promotion on his CV in the league below with Sunderland as well, don't forget. Chamadou in a tussle with Condell. And this time it's gone Stoke City's way. Apart from that one save that Crocom's had to make, Stoke just haven't asked enough of that Millwall back line.
No, and I think as the half's gone on, the threats become less. I quite like the short throw last time, because that opens up a few more options. He's been outstanding, Ballo, absolutely outstanding.
I think they need to get a grip in midfield, Stoke, as well. Not seeing much from Nzonzi or Sako. The play they do miss, I think, is Bae-Jun Ho, who damaged his shoulder on international duty. Last season, of course, you'd have had Wouter Berger in there, who was such a big player for them, in every sense of the word as well. But certainly Millwall having the better of it in that midfield area. No doubt about that. Chamadou trying to get rid of it. Dropped on by Ballo. And looking to give Cisse the slip. And still he goes on. Sturge takes over and delivers. Little flick on that.
I think that's Kramer in the box,
Well, he's got one. He's hungry for more. He likes the feeling of scoring a goal, clearly.
Becomes centre forward.
There he is.
There he is. Look, what's he doing?
What is he doing on the left wing? Puts it in there, though. Steered out by Phillips. Rigo. It runs under the boot of Sorba Thomas. Well, there'll be lots for Mark Robins to address at half-time.
Yeah, they will.
Can't come quick enough, I would have thought, for the Stoke boss.
In them extreme moments when you really need quality to come out, Ballo, the cross is just weighted perfectly, and the little pullback can only really go to one place, and he finds it. And, that's a calmness in his game under real pressure.
Well, he was the star of the win over West Brom before the international break, Femi Aziz. He also set up Jake Cooper. Scored a stunning solo goal in that game as well. Scored the opener win at Queen's Park Rangers. Fabulous pass, by the way, from Billy Mitchell that opened the door for him. But just all about confidence, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, he got a great goal today, but it just shows you, doesn't it? The reason why he's probably playing on the right is because Ballow's on the left.
Yeah.
And, brilliant. He wants to get goals. That's good. And he's done it today with a really good opener.
And Zonzi, who returned to the club this summer, 10 years away. Actually, was a teammate of John Walters, who's now the director of football at Stoke. Stoke were an established Premier League team when he last played for them. Had them to a 13th place finish, 9th twice. And Tony Pulis, feels like a lifetime ago in many respects it was.
Great work right there from Aziz.
Here's Kundal. Mazu Sakho. He'll get the return here. Mazu Sakho takes a tumble. Referee has a good look. Not interested at all.
Good run from Mazu Sakho.
Certainly was. Here's Ballo. That's a lovely flick down the line for Sturge.
What they're doing well is when they're sort of hack clearances away, Millwall are picking all them. So all the second balls, they're picking them up.
Kundal lashes it across. Well, Stoke finding Millwall too hot to handle just now. This was lovely.
Probably not enough, I think. But you've seen him given. I don't think he makes any contact. No, there's not enough in there for me. It's not a penalty.
And another problem here. It's Bokar who's down over there. Looks a little dizzied. I'm not entirely sure why he's picked up this particular issue.
Yeah.
But an issue it is, and he needs some attention.
Yeah, I'll also think, Mark Robbins will be thinking the 4 changes. I don't know what that is. He's obviously had that knock before, but Mark Robbins is thinking 4 changes on the side that won away at Wrexham. Now, some of them will be for resting, but hasn't really worked. Creativity, I mean, Lewis Baker does give you that, doesn't he?
100%. Difficult, though, isn't it, when you've got a 3-game week? They've got a lunchtime kick-off on Saturday at Portsmouth. I know it's only a few hours, but it does make a bit of a difference, that. I just wonder whether he's cricked his neck here. It all came from when Kundal lashed the ball across the box. I don't think the ball hit him or Kundal hit him. I don't know whether he's just twisted his neck. But concern here for Eric Bokar.
Yeah, it doesn't. The way he's sitting there, it doesn't look like he's. He looks in a little bit of pain, to be fair, or dizziness, or whatever it happens to be. Doesn't look like he's.
Strange one.
Going to have to go off, I think.
Well, Creswell obviously would be the man to replace him. He has been the regular left back this season. Not looking great, this. Well, these statistics, and there we have it. 8 shots, 5 on target for Millwall. 2 have gone in. Just the one effort has landed on target for Stoke. More of the ball, but not really managed to do a great deal with it as yet.
No, but you haven't seen Bozanic, Cisse, Thomas, Rigo in the game a lot. On the other hand, Aziz, Ballo, Ivanovic, small bone before that, and Kundal now.
So Bokar trudging over to this near touchline, and we'll see whether Mark Robins will make the swap. Well, we're almost at half-time, so maybe Mark will wait to make more assessment in the dressing room at half-time before deciding on what switch to make. But I'd be surprised if Bokar comes out for the second period. So for now at least, Stoke trailing 2-0 and a man light. Wilmot. Sorba Thomas going to drop into a deeper position over on the left to fill the void left by Bokar and Zonzi. It long by Wilmot. A hopeful pump downfield, and it carries all the way through to Crocombe.
And that's the problem. They hadn't been able to go long early into, you know, go up to Bozanic, because he's been bustled out of the way of it, and the press is really high, and they're finding it very difficult to get through that initial first press.
Ballo, oh, he's really treating the crowd tonight, pulling all the tricks out. It's a lovely pass out wide to Aziz as well. He's up against Sorba Thomas, played all the way in towards Ivanovic, and that was a crucial intervention, because Ivanovic was ready to pounce. He was licking his lips then.
Just thinking here, they're going to bring someone on here, because if this is a corner with the power they have in the air, not to have an 11th body on the pitch.
That's a good point. It would appear not. Kundal swings it in there. It's Bozanic who heads out. Collected by Ballo. Dealt with by Nzonzi. Sturge.
There's Kramer stood up there, and Cooper. Kramer and Cooper in the box.
Two big targets to try and hit. Cooper on the end of that. Ivanovic on the spin, and still looking to gather it. Every time it goes in there, they look so dangerous, but now an opportunity perhaps for Stoke. Cisse. Not a great deal on through the middle as yet. And Zonzi. Thomas.
Really good desire though, tracking back the Millwall players. You've seen Cooper and Kramer absolutely busting the gut.
And there goes the half-time whistle, and Millwall firmly in command. Femi Aziz crashing ahead of home from a peach of a ball in from Tiono Ballo. And what a moment for Tristan Kramer to get his first ever Millwall goal. He was already fast becoming a cult figure here anyway. Well, he's done his reputation absolutely no harm. That second goal has really knocked the stuffing out of Stoke. But Femi Aziz just keeps on scoring. That's a goal in each of his last 3 games now. And Millwall firmly in charge at the Den. And Stoke need a spark from somewhere and need it fast. At the break, Millwall 2, Stoke City 0. Welcome back to the Den. Millwall leading Stoke City by 2-0. And I would imagine, due to the fact there are a couple of Stoke players out on the field of play at the moment, they are fresh faces that are ready to be introduced by Mark Robins. Aaron Creswell in the background there looks as though he'll be coming on at the start of the second half. Something needs to change for Stoke City, doesn't it, Ian? Clearly, 2-0 down and not really managing to lay a glove on Millwall. Apart from that opening 5 or 10 minutes where they looked good going forward, they just faded. I
agree, and particularly I thought they were overrunning midfield. The way Millwall went about the press was very, very clever. What I didn't understand is why would you wait? Because they could have been 3-0 down. Should have made the change and got Creswell on. So, but he's had little time to think about it. They got away with it, but it's just important. Listen, if they get the next goal, you know, it makes such a difference. But you know, this Millwall side looks a bit more resilient.
It's a long journey for Stoke fans to make, but Millwall fans will be delighted with what they've seen in the opening period as they chase a 3rd win in a row. And as I mentioned, when they score first, they usually win, but they are primed to do so. They've got a 2-goal buffer here.
Yeah, do you know what I think? I think Millwall look a really very polished Championship side tonight. They're at it, they're ferociously aggressive in the press, and they're actually, the scoreline probably flatters. Doesn't flatter them enough, really. They should be more up, so they look a really well-drilled unit and have made Stoke look average.
They're always one of those teams that are in amongst it, but quite often, I don't know why, they tend to get overlooked. But they're always in the equation at the last knockings of the season. They're always there. Is it because it's Millwall? I don't know. But for whatever reason, they don't always seem to be taken as seriously as some of the other teams in the Championship. That's just my observation anyway, but they've been so close in recent years. And maybe, just maybe, this might be the year. Million Manhoff will be the other player to come on for Stoke City at the start of this second period. But here come the Lions. Femi Aziz doing the business again. And a lovely finish from Tristan Kramer as well. That puts them firmly in charge of this one. And the next goal, as they say, is crucial in this. So confirmation of the changes here. Aaron Creswell, as we expected, will replace Eric Bokar.
3 changes, I think.
He got injured at the last knockings, and Lewis Baker's coming on as well. You're right. So Baker thrown into the action.
Looks like it's for Secco, is it? Lewis Baker.
Yeah. Secco is the other to make way. So off we go. Stoke in the red and white, kicking towards their supporters in this second period. Kramer. This is Wilmot. Baker. Thomas giving chase to this, and there to mop it up is Jake Cooper. conceded 13 goals coming into this Millwall, the highest of all of those in the top 6. So a clean sheet would be most welcome. As Chamadou goes on the charge and still getting the heat from the Millwall fans. Manhoff, player who is capable of creating problems.
Chamadou gives you something special out there, and then it's just ridiculous doing what he did.
Chamadou whips it in, and that one is glanced up and over by Bojanek. Well won back actually by Rigo there. Difficult for Bojanek, especially with Kramer right next to him.
Decent cross by Chamadou though.
Foul by Kramer. Actually started out as a striker, Kramer, which might explain his finish tonight.
What a touch.
Manhoff attacking Sturge, that's more like it. That's what Stoke need more of, turning those defenders round. Been a positive start to the second period, this, from those in red and white. Chamadou, Manhoff. He and Chamadou combining well. Sturge intervenes. He's certainly got something different to think about, Zach Sturge, now, with Manhoff on the pitch. And Ash Phillips has come forward from centre-half. Will be one of those hoping to get on the end of this long throw from Junior Chamadou. Zonzi climbing, Phillips was as well. They're appealing for a handball in there, nothing doing. It's a lovely touch from Aziz, by the way, that gets it clear of Baker. Just couldn't throw it through, but it's been stolen back by Condell. Chance to finish the game here. And Johansson makes the save. He had options to his left, Condell. He took it on himself and found Johansson in his way.
But I just thought he took it too early. He should have carried it another couple of yards. It's a really good attempt initially to pass.
Straight back down the other end. It's Rigo. Thomas. Trying to make the angle for the shot, and he hits Rigo with it, and wide it goes.
I think he dragged it a bit anyway. That ball's the attempt's right. Now he's just got to keep going. He hits it too early. Great little pick-up.
There was a shout for handball in here. No, not for me. What about you?
Hits him on the hip. Might
so
just
that's a no then, is it?
Definitely not.
It's been a very open start to this second period. I'm not sure which one of the two managers, or if any of them, will be happy with that, but adds to the entertainment. And they're just 1 point between them ahead of kick-off. Millwall started the night in 6th, Stoke in 3rd. Millwall did actually climb to 3rd in the table briefly at the weekend. Baker using his thigh to get it wide to Chamadou. Manhoff. Bit more menace about Stoke suddenly. Manhoff. Off target.
Yeah, that seems to be a change that's really getting a bit of zest in the team. Good overlap. Comes inside but badly drags it wide.
3 goals this season for Miljan Manhoff. And by his own admission says he should have had more goals. He got 7 last year. And will be looking to better that tally this time around.
It's a threat, though, that right-hand side now, because he's got it going on the outside. Manhoff steps on his left. Might be something that Alex Neil looks at with Ballo later on.
Aziz. Taken by Ballo. Well, he's penalised for a foul. But on we go. Chamadou. Manhoff up against Sturge. Ballo dropping in to lend a helping hand. Chamadou sweeps it in. Rigo off target.
It's almost like the chance in the early minutes. He gets it. It's a lovely timing of the ball, and I don't think it's the greatest ball in from Chamadou, but he arrives. Gets good contact on it. I think he thinks might be a little deflection. Doesn't really get enough on it.
Well, they're not hanging around, are they, Stoke, in this second half? They're getting the ball in nice and early. It seems to have been an obvious message from Mark Robbins. Don't faff around, put the ball in the box.
Well, he could and should be maybe 3-0 down, because Cundles is it's a gift of a chance, and if he takes another touch, I think he commits the keeper, and then it's just a slide down the side of it. Takes a shot from too far out.
Alex Neil in the ear of the fourth official, Josh Smith. Not too happy with something, but Mark Robbins unflustered, but inside. Very displeased with much of Stoke's performance up to this point. That being said, at least they're starting to ask a few questions in the right areas. And this man has certainly given them a bit of extra edge in Manhoff, who links up wonderfully with Chamadou. And Crocombe gets hands on it, but can't prevent it from going behind for the corner.
Well, let's be honest, they were outthought and outplayed and outrun in the first half. Now they're really getting they're back in the game, and certainly they look a more threatening Stoke City, that's for sure.
The usual suspects are in there.
Quite interesting how they do it is that big man marks big man for Millwall. Some do like zonal, don't they? They don't. They put their two biggest on the two biggest. Quite clever.
Thomas with the outswinger. Savanovic's header away. Back to Thomas it goes. Crocombe came, didn't get there. Phillips trying to poke it goalwards. And Millwall smuggle it partially away. Back in from Creswell. And Crocombe unconvincing at the first attempt, but he's got there at the second. He's not happy with the treatment he was getting there, Max Crocombe.
Don't think there's much in that.
Well, Chamadou has certainly felt the heat from the Millwall supporters, but I've been really impressed with his work ethic, bombing up and down that right-hand side.
Yeah, he's a real threat. He didn't, certainly he's been outside that silly thing where he holds his face when he doesn't get touched.
Yeah, the Millwall fans have not let him forget that.
No, they haven't. he's probably been one of, well, maybe the best player on the pitch for Stoke.
Yeah,
Manhoff started well, hasn't he?
Could be at the World Cup next year. Junior Chamadou, by the way, with Cameroon. They've still got a bit of work to do in qualifying, but they could still get there. Here he is taking the throw for Rigo, who also could be at the big event next summer. Here's Creswell. Interesting story, by the way, for Aaron Creswell and the manner in which he signed for Stoke. This is the story he tells. He was in the queue at passport control on holiday. He'd had a few offers, and there was a fella in front of him in the queue who had a Stoke City tattoo on his leg, and he said, that was it, mine made up, it's fate. I need to join Stoke now. So he
Really?
joined Stoke because a fella in front of him in the queue at passport control had a tattoo on his leg.
Did he?
Yep.
Wow.
So there you go.
Where was he going on holiday, do you know?
No idea.
No idea.
To Stoke. Probably to Stoke, yeah. Do you need a passport to get into Stoke?
I think you do sometimes. Unless you're Stokey.
Chamadou looking for the run of Bojanik. Baker being pursued all the way by Denore, who's so good at that. Able to sniff out danger, the Belgian. Manhoff buys himself some room, lofted in high towards Thomas. Now, did Leonard get a touch on that? Thomas convinced he did. The referee says otherwise.
Judging by that reaction, you think he did get a touch. Does get a touch
with his eyebrows. Aziz. Oh, he's had a lot of good things about Aziz tonight. That not one of his finest moments there.
No, and generally all the well important moments have come down that left-hand side, haven't they?
Chamadou.
Great
to
ball.
Switch the point of attack out to the left, and Thomas. Is he taken down there, Thomas? Again, his protests fall on deaf ears. Swung back over by Creswell. It's into the hands of Crocombe, but I think James Linnington, the referee, will get a flea in his ear from Sorba Thomas next time he enters into his space.
I think it was outside the box anyway. But
well, the changes have at least given Stoke more of more energy at the top end of the pitch, haven't they?
Have, yeah.
Phillips winning a good header there, and Zonzi in bravely. Denore for Millwall. The Lions in that position of luxury in terms of not having to force anything now. Just got to be sensible. They've got that 2-goal cushion.
Right.
And they will know the longer this game goes on that Stoke are more likely to leave bigger gaps in behind, and they've got the pace to exploit that as well.
Yeah.
Baker. Still Baker goes, and he trod on the ball himself. That's a real shame. He carried that a fair distance. He'd left Mazu Sakho in his wake. Denore. Missed by Ivanovic.
Yeah.
Well, this is the table as it looks, and Millwall, if it stays this way, will climb above Stoke in the table. Sorba Thomas. Leicester come here, by the way, on Saturday. And last we heard, Leicester were 2-0 down at Hull. That's still the case as well. Equaliser for Sheffield United at Blackburn, I can see. Derby leading Norwich.
Wow.
And that will heap even more pressure on Liam Manning, who seems to be teetering on the brink. Charlton leading 2-0 at Ipswich. Coventry 2 up at Portsmouth now. Birmingham still leading at Preston, and still 1-1 between Bristol City and Southampton. Rigo. And Zonzi. An hour gone at the Den, just over. And Millwall still leading by 2. Manhoff, neat turn. Couldn't find anyone in red. And Manhoff is down along with a Millwall player. But on it goes with Ballo. Real eye-catching performance from Ballo.
Yeah, there has been. He's been spectacular. I just wonder whether a little opportunity here for Devin Mubamba to come on and turn the game around. Oh my word!
Oh, that's a giveaway by Wilmot, and this could really finish it now. But it's Ballo who scoops it over.
Well, I've got to say, Ben Wilmot has not been at his best tonight. I've seen him been excellent this season. He's been. I mean, that's a horrendous giveaway, and it's not even. Look, I don't know what he's thinking.
Well, his error before put Condell through on goal, and his error there gave Ballo a sight at goal.
What a chance that is, by the way. He should do better, Ballo, there.
Well, and Zonzi has departed for Stoke City. Jamie Donnelly has come on. Saw a lot of him last season at Lake Norrid. He was absolutely outstanding for them as they got to the League One playoff final.
Yeah, he was. He's been involved at Northern Ireland,
yeah,
which is good.
Really good signing that, by the way. I'm surprised in many respects that he didn't get the start of the 4 changes that Mark Robins made. And he's got a chance to influence things here as Stoke try and plot a road to recovery in this match.
Yeah, they've sort of huffed and puffed. There's not really been clear-cut chances, have they?
No.
Rigo's he's got some talent, isn't that for sure?
Manhoff, who's certainly giving Sturge a problem.
Good defending from Sturge. Was a bit lucky with it, but you know, it's a risky challenge, but he got it right.
Rigo from distance, fielded by Crocombe. Good battle this one though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tossed high by Kramer. It's a good touch from Wilmot. Well, Stoke had a really strong start to the season, a strong opening month, which is the main reason why they've managed to stay at the upper reaches of the table. They picked up 9 points from their opening 12 available. This is Ballo slipping it through. Denore's popped up, and that is a vital touch from Wilmot.
Yeah,
that was goal bound.
It was. Great little ball. Got to say, good run from Denore. Lovely little dummy, and he takes it well. It's a nice interception from Wilmot.
Played some really nice football, haven't they, Millwall,
they
tonight?
have.
Little partnerships developing all over the pitch like that. Condell's corner. Goalkeeper Johansson under some intense pressure, but he's dealt with it. Sturge. Johansson's there to claim again. A Schmeichel-esque throw downfield, but he can't find Manhoff with it.
That man, Mazu Sacco, he's done well. He's come on. For the time he's been on the pitch, done really well.
And Sheffield United have turned it round at Blackburn. They lead by 2-1 in that game now.
Not you'd have any interest in that game, of course.
Absolutely, no interest in that game whatsoever. Be quiet in, be quiet. Chamadou flying into that challenge. Phillips, all a little bit scrappy, and Ballo will pick up the pieces here. He'll have only one thing on his mind, and that's to get forward. That's all he knows, really. Chamadou snapping at his heels.
Yeah.
Charlton 3-0 up at Ipswich elsewhere. Well, we know how tough a place this has been down the years. And over the last 10 games, they've won 7 here, Millwall. But recently they've dipped, and they are trying to match up their away form with their home form. Very strong on their travels this season, but this is definitely a step in the right direction for Alex Neil's team on their own patch. Denore, gathered by Ivanovic. Two speed merchants here in close quarters, Chamadou and Ballo.
They look a bit more threatening, Millwall, every time they go forward, don't they? Stoke have lacked a bit of cutting edge, even with Manhoff.
On by Aziz. Thomas. 2 Millwall players to contend with. It's Ryan Leonard who pokes it out of play. 6 years he's been at Millwall now, Ryan Leonard. A bit of a miscue there from Rigo. It's Ivanovic. He's got options to his left. He's going to go all alone. And Johansson with a strong right hand on it. Here's Ballo. A teasing ball, and Johansson gets there. Brilliant effort from Ivanovic, but he's found the division's best goalkeeper.
Brilliant feet
in his way.
Wilmot didn't know which way he was going. Got a lovely strike. Look at that. Chopped inside, hits it well. Really good save again.
Well, were it not for Victor Johansson, Stoke could be looking at a much bigger scoreline here. But if it's going to happen, it's going to have to happen soon.
Yeah, and you'd suspect it happened down that Million-man half side now. He looks like there's a threat down there, but just wonder whether he's going to go with Mubamba.
Ivanovic. Cooper. Mazu Sakho. It's a good ball. Ivanovic looking for options. He's found Aziz. Lovely touch there. But no one at that far post for Millwall. Given away by Phillips.
He's done that really well. Denore picking bits up. They've really done well with this high press, and it's caused Stoke all types of problems. And what I like about it is when they do with the ball, they pop it about, but they're also quite incisive. They're not hanging about. They want to get forward and get in attacking areas.
Aziz. Ivanovic making his move into the middle. Chamadou's header away. Rigo fouled. Just feels that flicker that Stoke had at the start of the half might just be dying out. From their point of view, it's gone a little flat again, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
"20 minutes to go, and this wretched run that Stoke have at this particular venue looks set to continue. They're on track for a 5th consecutive league defeat in southeast London. Baker. Manhoff. Rigo.
Yeah.
Found the gap. It's bounced off the shin of Bojanic. Aziz. Oh, look at that, brilliantly done. Can he pick out anyone in blue? Almost did, but Phillips snuffed out the danger.
Brilliant note. Aziz, composure, little nutmeg here. Goes down there, just can't get the final end product. Tries to bend it with his right foot.
Well, I said earlier on he was playing with a smile on his face, but he literally is. Really enjoying his football, and no wonder. Mazu Sakho. Wilmot gets his head to it. Ballo. Levered in, Cooper flung himself at it.
Good block again by Wilmot.
I wonder whether Mark Robins may be tempted to bring on Divine Mabama. Bojanic hasn't offered much, has he?
Hasn't, no. Hasn't. I mean, that's what I said. I think he's been bullied out of the game. To be fair to Ivanovic, he's done quite well holding up and been a bit more of a platform, but they've just been better on the ball. You know, in the midfield, Denor and, as you say, Mazu Sakho have done really well.
Oh, that's good play from Sorba Thomas. Manhoff onto his left, still he goes, Manhoff. That's a Millwall prepared to put bodies on the line. Now it's Thomas. Hacked away by Cooper.
Brilliant from Sturge. There's also great tracking back from Denor and Mazu Sakho. They were busting a gut to be back there, but really good defending for Sturge.
Thomas again. Creswell's made an underlapping run.
Good save.
Did he get a glove on that?
Yeah, I think he tried and beat him at the near post. It's a really strong hand.
It's a clever run from Creswell. Yeah, you're right. Guards that near post well. Max Crocombe.
He shouldn't be from that tight an angle anyway. He gets a big mitt on it.
Well, looks like it's going to be his shirt to lose now, even when Stephen Bender is fit again. Well, one last rallying cry here from Mark Robins. But time is running out if they are to salvage something from the wreckage here.
Haven't been able to get Jamie Donnelly on the ball, really, have they?
Don't think he's touched it yet.
No, I'm not sure he has.
A big 15 minutes in this one.
Yeah. Again, there's a composure about Millwall tonight. They understand what they're doing, well versed in what they're doing.
Bristol City 3-1 up on Southampton. And Leicester have got a goal back at Hull, but they still trail by 2-1 in that game. Here the goals arriving in the first half. Femi Aziz on target again for the third game running. And Tristan Kramer with the other. And Stoke still searching for a way back in. Leonard. Attempting to bend that in towards Ivanovic. Wilmot's header goes straight to a blue shirt. Aziz from Cundall's flick. Aziz steps round Baker, slings it over. A shade too high for Ballo.
Yeah.
Manhoff having his shirt pulled by Sturge, but on he goes. And James Linnington rightly will bring it back. Card there for Sturge, I assume.
Yeah, was for Sturge, yeah.
He's a good player, Manhoff.
Yeah, he certainly added something.
Big player last season, he'll be a big player this season. Still got Sam Gallagher to come back from injury.
Yeah.
Stoke, Ben Gibson, who's been out as well. He's played in a couple of League Cup games. And Millwall have got a fair few as well on the treatment table, but I guess most clubs do. It's the way it goes. It's the Championship, rough and tumble. Injuries bite. It's about how you adapt, how you cope.
Yeah. What I've liked is when the ball's been switched side to side, you see the team shape, you know, transform one side to the other. So what they're doing is they're populating, you know, 3/4 of the pitch and forcing the ball one way, and then they're also putting a real forward press on.
Aziz. Millwall still carrying a threat. Leonard. Cooper. Condell.
I've got to say, he's been really good. Mazu Sakho, really good.
And they've developed this really well up the pitch, Millwall. Disappointing cross from Mazu Sakho, but the way they got into that area was really well worked. Leonard. Stopped in his tracks by Creswell.
They'll just take their time. The big lads will come up, they'll fill the box.
Well, we are going to see a change here. And Joe Bryan is coming on, and Zach Sturge departs. So some experience coming on for Millwall. He's actually playing some of his best football of his career last season, Joe Bryan, when injury struck in the last few games of the season. Player who knows what it takes to get promoted from this division, having done so in the past with Fulham twice.
Zach Sturge done well on the night.
Oh, this is drifting away now for Stoke City. And Soba Thomas cutting a frustrated figure.
Time to have a little chuckle on the sideline there. Always a nice to see.
Oh, scoop through to Aziz, who's in to finish things off. And it just got away from him at the vital moment.
Yeah, but look at this. See, Denore shutting off these windows. You know, they've worked unbelievably hard in their recovery.
Oh, mistake there from Cooper. Rigo. Baker. I was going to say it's a good ball. It's a nice idea, just too much pace on it for Boschinic.
Yeah. I think it's just bobbles up. It's a lovely little move. Great little Ballo again. Oh yeah, takes a big pop off his thigh. Doesn't quite get that right. What a chance that was.
Two v one this side, just play, with a little bit of colourful language thrown in for good measure from Mark Robbins that I'm not prepared to repeat, obviously, but that's what he said. 2v1 this side, just play.
Do you know, I was talking about them fouls. That's another one of them fouls. You know what? They're very good at it. You know, it's sort of delay. You don't get any momentum being built, and that's what they've done. They've sort of broke down the momentum of Stoke again. Stoke had a little 5-10 minutes, well, maybe 15 minutes in the second half when they were bright and lively, but it's now drifted.
Well, Denore flew into that challenge on that occasion, failed to come out with the ball. Baker. Phillips sold that a little short, pounced on by Joe Bryan. Well, did the hard bit, but yeah, couldn't find Ivanovic.
He intercepted brilliantly, just didn't enough weight on the pass. But
Rigo. Baker scooping it round the back for Chamadou. Fabulous ball! But he hasn't got the finish. Yeah. And really that needed to go in.
Yeah, and also needs to be bodies in the box. It's a great run from... He just hits, no one's even in the box.
Fabulous pass from Baker.
Yeah.
Well, the Stoke change, and Bojanic is withdrawn, and Divine Mabama is on. An England under-21 international, but time is short in this game for him to have a meaningful impact. And Alex Neil is going to respond and make a couple of changes of his own. Camille Negli is one of those to be introduced, along with Reyes Bangura Williams. But those changes not happening quite yet. Aziz, Ivanovic, Phillips on the cover. Had to be patient to get his chance in the starting 11 this season. Ashley Phillips, Bosun Lawal have been in brilliant form. That's another player, by the way, who Stoke will be hoping returns from injury sooner rather than later. Leonard hurls it in there. Oh, it was a Stoke head that got to it. It was Mabama, and the shot at the end of it was way off the mark. Well, here come those changes, and Femi Aziz is one of those to be replaced. He can do no wrong at the minute. He's in fabulous form. Another goal for him tonight. And this young man is a very popular player, by the way. Reyes Bangura Williams. And someone who's more than played his part, Casper Denore is withdrawn, replaced by Camille Negli. You can have eye-catching players in your team like Aziz and Ballo, but you need workers, you need grafters, and Denore is definitely one of those.
He's been brilliant. Well, Bangura Williams making a good tackle there.
Joined Millwall a couple of years back from Tooting and Mitcham.
Really?
Yeah. We've produced a few players actually that have come into the EFL. I'm thinking Izzy Jones. I seem to recall he was at Tooting and Mitcham. I dare say there's been a few others as well along the way. And it's been a good breeding ground for young talent. And Bangura Williams is one of those.
Non-league used to be big. I mean, I was at Hender before I signed for Luton.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Just about Millwall managing this game
Chances.
to the end. Manhoff,
Oh.
final touch again.
Yeah. He's brought a sparkness and sharpness though. Didn't control that well, but if he had done, he was through on goal.
Just looking at some of the other scores from elsewhere, which are reaching their conclusion. Sheffield United winning 3-1 at Blackburn now. Charlton 3-0 at Ipswich. Derby leading Norwich by 1-0. Hull still leading Leicester by 2-1. Birmingham 1 up at Preston. And Bristol City 3, Southampton 1. This is Mabama. And great desire from Millwall to close him off.
Yeah, I think a clean sheet will be just a little bit of topping on top of the result, something nice. And they probably deserved it. Keeper has been fairly efficient.
Put in there by Chamadou, headed out by Bryan. Creswell. Ivanovic has forced him to go all the way back, Negley rather, to Johansson. Big cheer for Joe Bryan, who's not the biggest, but he got up well to win that header.
Yeah, a good little block from Bangura Williams. It's really been like the first half, isn't it? It faded away again.
Yeah, they've got themselves into some promising positions, yeah. Stoke, but 2-0 scoreline that Millwall built up in the first half hasn't been under sufficient threat, really, has it?
No.
There's been times in this second half where Millwall have just had to settle back into position, keep their shape, manage the game, and they've done that very efficiently. And as a consequence, they are heading up to third in the table, and effectively these two will swap positions. Stoke will drop to sixth as things stand.
Yeah.
The last man of the match award goes to Femi Aziz.
Well, Femi Aziz awarded the sponsors man of the match. I think Ballo would be a definite rival for it, as would Denore.
Yeah, I agree. And Mazu Sakho have done very well in that position. You've got to say, Kramer deserves to mention for his goal, and his, but I definitely think Ballo has been the best player.
Creswell.
I haven't seen any of Jamie Dolany yet. Yes, there he is, there, isn't it? Yeah.
He's barely touched it, if at all. Well, he has got a touch, and it's led to a free kick. Got a touch there from Leonard.
I suppose also he's come on at a time when the changes haven't really. They did make initial impact, the half-time ones, but that's sort of faded away now. And Jamie Donnelly's come on and has been on the rough end of that.
Going to 4 additional minutes then, as Coventry go 2 up at Portsmouth. There's Rigo. Second goal in that game, by the way, for Brandon Thomas Asante. I know you're interested in that scoreline, Ian.
He's doing a wonderful job.
Well, in many respects, Mark Robins left him a decent platform, didn't he? A great foundation for the work he did over the 7 years he was there. Wasn't as if Frank inherited a poor team. They were a good team, Coventry, but just lost their way a little bit. But he's got Coventry's spark back as Cundle goes on the run here for Millwall. Ivanovic. Here's Ballo. And Chamadou sticking with him. Another long trip for Stoke at the weekend down to Fratton Park, and that is not an easy place to play either when it's rocking down there. Fratton Park, some atmosphere that.
There's another manager who's done a good job down there.
Absolutely, he has. It's been a tough night for Mark Robins.
Yeah, it has.
Came here with confidence brimming. So they've come up against a team that has simply been better than them. It's a fabulous run though from Manhoff. It needed several in blue to stop him.
It's got to be a foul there. I mean, the lad's pulling him around the neck.
Yeah. And Chamadou just losing his cool.
Don't know, there's much in it.
No, you wouldn't guess from the reaction from the fans, but it is the Den after all. It's or can be a very hostile environment. And Chamadou has been public enemy #1 with the locals anyway all night.
Well, by the way, it's exactly what they should do, playing the game out. It's been very clever. You don't need to do any more than that. To be fair, they've not been good enough tonight, Stoke. Haven't caused enough problems. Haven't made Crocombe make any real, well, a couple of saves, but nothing outstanding. And they really hadn't had that many attempts on target as well. There you go.
Ivanovic trying to squeeze his way through, and Johansson dealt an awkward back pass there.
There he is, going on another run.
Kramer. And pass towards goal. Well, I did say earlier, he did begin as a youngster, as a striker, and as the years went on, he dropped further and further back. He then became a holding midfield player, and then he was developed into a centre-half. But he's shown us tonight that he's still got a bit of that striker's instinct in there.
Well, he certainly finished like he was a striker.
It is 3 wins in a row for Millwall, who leapfrog Stoke City in the table. 2 first-half goals doing the business for Alex Neil against his former side. Kramer with a fine finish that made it 2 after Femi Aziz had crashed in the opener, his 3rd in as many matches. Millwall very impressive, and Stoke really struggled to lay a glove on them. Maybe 2 saves that Crocombe's had to make all night, but Millwall seem to have a good balanced team, a real blend of youth and experience, and they'll be hoping that this home win here will be the first of many, many more to come on their travels. Very impressive. They just need to get it going at the Den. Well, this is definitely a step in the right direction, Ian Dowie.
Yeah, well, so that man right in the middle of all that, Ballo, is deservedly getting the recognition. I thought it was a brilliant performance from Millwall. You know, calm, very good shape. They moved, their defensive structure out of possession was absolutely spot on. Distances were really good, and they thoroughly deserved to win the game. And maybe it doesn't really, it's not a fair reflection. 2-0 could well have been 3 or 4.
So delight at the Den for Millwall, who have beaten Stoke City here by 2 goals to 0.